Hey there, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you happen to be. Ancy coming at you. Want to give you a little tip for any one of my friends who do any level of Facebook marketing. And I hope that this is helpful for you. It seems to be working pretty well for us. Before I go on, make sure that you go to annsiegmentor.com to join me in my private Facebook group where we have a leadership and business community. So you can join me there at annsiegmentor.com. All right, so about Facebook. Ooh, Facebook advertising. This is just a little tip, but man, oh man, I mean, there's so much to know about Facebook marketing. It's really a full-time job. So we have a lot going on that we're doing with our Facebook marketing, and I'm going to encourage you. Hi there, Judith. Good morning, good afternoon to you. Anytime you have a software or service that you're using, as much as possible, try to get an account manager. So, Facebook, Active Campaign for us, Get Response, your bank, always try to get an account manager, because that's where this tip came from, was from a Facebook, I don't even know what they call them, they're, advertising experts that you can then have as they're an account manager. But you only get them for a certain length of time. We were told 4 weeks, so we took advantage of that. Good morning, Judith. And so I'm not the one who's in those conversations. It's actually my operations officer. And by the way, for the record, while having had several different Facebook teams, it just came down to us doing it ourselves. We had one team that was really, really awesome. They were beyond compare. Good morning to you, Christy. So my little tip is this, and this was told to us by our Facebook ads account manager, and that is, do not raise your ad spend just willy-nilly. They recommended that you do it in 20% increments. Whether you're going to up the ad spend or you're going to lower the ad spend, is do it in 20% increments. And then they said if you really want to up it, you should clone your ad and then, give it the designated boost that you want. And that's what we do by and large, is we'll just clone the ad. Like we see it's converting really well. We love the numbers. So then we have our designated team member, excuse me, then give the boost, do the clone and then go with whatever the ad spend is. But she's gone right now, so we're having to manage the account without her, and we don't set up any of the ads, myself and my other teammate on my executive staff. And so what we're doing is, when we see one that's doing well, so because we're not going to be doing the cloning, well, every day we're upping it 20%, 20%, 20%. And then correspondingly, we're actually tuning down the engagement ads, because we want to take those funds, and now we're going to start doing our YouTube ads. And this too, we had hired someone to help with that. That was someone with organic, and we're like, it just, and by the way, that's a bigger teaching point, is we've seen that on many levels. When we have an external sales team, external advertiser, we just find that it does better for us to do it in-house. And yes, it increases the burden, but because we know our wheelhouse so well, and we have a very, very big operation with a lot of different offers, we just find it's best if we do it ourselves. And we finally came to that conclusion. So that's a bigger overarching teaching point here. And that's what works for us with our business. I'm not just, in no way, shape, or form do I say what works for us is what others should do as well. I'm not saying that, because everyone's business model is different. Okay. You're doing the organic. Yeah. So I did give you advice in the accountability report, Christy, but I'll give it to you right now, which is what we have done is we test like 3 different ads to an audience. And so I think we had like 5 different audiences with 3 different ads. And it was very interesting to note that like some were dud audiences, and we did it based off of the people we have in our community and stuff. When I say dud, I mean conversion rates. And so, but one was stellar. And so in terms of an audience. So it's that initial testing, and that's what I'm recommending for you, Christy, that I put in my accountability report video, is that you get, at minimum, get 2 different ads to test against each other, and then set up your audiences, which you have done engagement ads in the past, I think, with great success, as I recall. And so the key is to find out which ad performs best for which audience, and then you throw the money into it. So we're tuning down our engagement ads. One, we wanted to take resources and hire a VA. This will be our 3rd VA now. And the other is we want to get into a more direct response situation. And so what we're going to do, and direct response is when you know a certain CTA, you've got a specific CTA that is measurable. And so what I want to do is build our group. This is what we're doing. And I found out, making my space, submitting my report. Oh yeah, you did. You weren't in there, Judith. You're right. That's okay. You had head down working. That's fine. Anyways, our strategy is to grow our group. That's this is a huge teaching. I could spend an hour on it, and I don't mean to do that. But so back to the engagement ads. So some that are doing well, we're just doing the 20% increase, and some are doing the 20% each day. So we're whittling up and we're whittling down. So all our ads that are performing well, we're putting in that 20% because our operations officer isn't here. When she gets back, then she can clone and we can go, yeah, double that ad spend, that kind of a thing. Relative to the group, I'll get into that since this would be, maybe I should save it for tomorrow because that gives me content for tomorrow. And that will be about driving traffic into a group, Facebook ad to a group, which Facebook does not allow you to do that. You have to go through a page to do that. So we've been in deep thought and research on this, and I've come up with a game plan. I don't have any data to say if it works or not because we haven't implemented it yet, but I'm very excited about it. I feel really confident of my messaging that I'm going to have for this new ad funnel. Let me see what your question here is, Christy. I wonder if you can set up the audience in an organic, or do you have to pay to set up the different audiences? I need to check this. That I can't answer. David does all our tracking of our page insights and all that, and our group insights. So David handles all the organic stuff. For the paid, I'm afraid I can't answer your question there, Christy. I like paid advertising and I get it, for the budget reasons that you're mentioning there, I get that. But I like paid when I can see I need to see the direct corollary, cause and effect, and that's the challenge with engagement ads, is that's harder to do. But I think I've come up with a game plan to, I don't want to say get around it, it's nothing against their terms of service, but a way that I think I'm going to be able to create a different kind of sales environment. So that, I won't have that kind of data for about another 2 or 3 weeks relative to that test. But yeah, I don't know. I personally can't answer your question, Christy. It could be that Lisa would be able to. But I personally, for that one, I don't know. Set up I tend to think you are going to have to pay to set up the different audiences, but that I just don't know. I don't see how you can do it with organic and know who is coming from where and having it tracked. Alrighty, so that was my tip is, oh, and by the way, so the reason the ad account manager told us the 20% is if you jack it up really high in one day, it can totally throw off the algorithms. He basically said, don't do it. Don't do it. Just clone your ad. Like, let's say you want to go from $200 to $400 a day. You don't do that. You clone, then you throw the money at it. The other thing is he suggests a minimum of $200 a day to test. And yeah, that's why I want to get the golden key for using engagement ads to get them into the group. And I can't say that this would be a sound plan for people selling physical products. Mine is digital, and so we want to get them in our group and cultivate and nurture the relationship first. So, yeah, I think you are going to have to pay for those separate audiences, Christy. But the cool thing is, then you find out which audience is most responsive, and then you know how to better allocate your funds. And that's really what the science of advertising is about, is knowing where to best put your money for the results that you're going to get. Oh, it makes a lot of sense. I felt like it was a little bit of rambling, so I'm glad to hear that, Judith. Alrighty, so, yeah, that is something you work up to. You have to have a highly converting funnel. And yeah. So what we did is we do have a highly converting funnel, and then we tried an ad that was doing really well, and then it went all cattywampus on us, so we cloned it, put it in front of a different audience. This being our most recent cloning test, and the results were abysmal. Turn it off. We call it the bleed. So we're always watching for the bleed. When we see the bleed, okay, I'm kind of going into a bigger territory there. But so anyways, yeah, you'll get the report and hear my advice for you, Christy. All right. So in conclusion, if you're watching the replay, you can write in #replay any thoughts you have if you're doing Facebook advertising and what I'm putting forth relative to the 20% rule when it comes to increasing or decreasing your ad spend. Thus far, it seems to be working out really, really well for us. And to join my business and leadership development group, go to AnnSiegMentor.com. That's it. Alrighty. Have an awesome day, everybody. Bye-bye.